Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Over the past week we've seen a really volatile period here for AMD, but with the way that things are right now, a lot of people are in the belief that things could be about to turn around. You can make the argument that we're seeing a lot of interesting patterns right here on the charts right about now, and the question is, where do we go from here? Well, we're going to be speaking about all of that in today's video, and I'm going to be sharing with you my personal thoughts and opinions based on how things look. At the same time, please do remember it is just my thoughts and opinions. This is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. However, with that being said, if you do enjoy the videos, please do share them, please do like and please do subscribe. Anyway, let's jump straight in and look first at what we've seen over the last couple of days with AMD. Now you will see actually on the Friday we saw a drop of 1.9%. However, in context, that's not really that bad. Earlier in the week we saw this major gap up from the 174 range all the way up to the 185, 186 range. Now this is significant for a number of reasons, and I want to zoom out in context to show this even more clearly. Let's go to the 3-month, maybe even the 6-month, right? Now, in the 6-month period, we have seen AMD stock really rocket quite a lot. We've seen the stock go from these previous highs all the way down to prices right about 110 and below, to where we are right now. Now, in my opinion, the level between 182 and 185 is historically significant. I want to draw the line here at 185 roughly, and you're going to see that this is a level previously where we've seen a lot of challenge with AMD stock. And I'll get into why that matters into the next week in a second, but this is going all the way back to 2024, and in my opinion this validates stuff a lot more because it shows a more prolonged trend here, right? But let's just say 185, right? 185 will draw here. 185 is a level that we've struggled to break above many a time. Here, 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 here. Every single time that we either have or have tried, we've struggled to really maintain it. However, you can see there's one time where that isn't the case, and that's the time that we've seen the stock run to well over 200. Now, given the context of where we are at now, and given the fact that we've only seen one significant break in the last 2 or 3 years over this mark, the question is, where do things go from here? Now, if you ask me, the fact that we have had previous runs to 200 plus does give me some more hope. It tells me that this is potentially something that could go on to go higher. However, given context, this massive rise, don't take it for granted. A few things though for me are now looking very good. We found this consistent support roughly at 170, that's held up a good few times now, here and here, to note a few, right? We've seen this level really more broadly hold up, and we're going to call this roughly 170 on the dot, okay? That's held up a good few times right now. So I would say that is looking to be a relatively stable support. Past that, you could argue 175, but really I'm going to say 170, right? At the same time, zoom into the 1-month chart, and you can see in a bit more detail, we're now starting to find a little bit of a support seemingly around this level here at 176.50, roughly around there. And that's also significant because we've seen this as a level of support. Just look to where that crossed line that I'm drawing here is right now, okay? And bring that back down to here. Now, do you see how we've just bounced off this level and how we have bounced off it here? How we've bounced off it here, how we've bounced off it here, how we've bounced off it through here as well, right? This has historically been a previous level that we have found a degree of either support or resistance at on numerous occasions, right? We found both at this level. So even if we don't drop to 170 or around that range, 175, 176 could be another solid level of support into this next week. However, a few other noteworthy things. So where we were, let's say 7 days ago, 10 days ago, we're still in a significantly worse position than where we are right now. Things are still looking up. Now, towards the end of the trading day on the Friday, we've seen things actually come back round. Yes, the morning and the midday section here was obviously relatively red. However, the late part of the day, slow move up, right? Slow move up. Potentially, zooming in now to the 5-day, we could be looking at this now starting to consolidate, starting to really lock in some of these gains and potentially push up. Now, going out to the 1-year chart and looking at everything in broad context, I think there is some potential into this next week that we could see more of a turnaround, you know. I think everybody here is expecting a massive run. I wouldn't take it for granted. Really, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. We've got to break above 185 175, that's for sure, in the next few days or few weeks even, for this one to maintain on its run. And of course, given the context, this is going to be a relatively high risk play. That kind of goes without saying. However, if you believe this is going to maintain above the 170 mark, if you don't think we're going down to that level, would you agree with me that there is this argument that 175 roughly could be our next level of support on the downside, right? Would you agree with that? If that is the case, it could present a potential entry opportunity for AMD stock, either now or in the next couple of days. However, if you see it dropping lower to 170, that might not be the case so much. On the upside, we need to break above a few levels, 180, 185, right? Break above 185 and into 187, 190, then I'm getting really happy, right? Then I'm getting really optimistic. A break above 180 and 185 specifically would be a very good point to be at, especially in the end of the next week. Is that likely? I wouldn't say it's 100%. I would call it more unlikely than not. However, this is a very volatile stock and things do move very quickly. But if there was a trend that I am looking for into this next week, it's going to be a positive one. It's going to be a bullish one. I'm hoping that this is going to continue to rise. At the very worst, I want to see at the end of next week us hitting the 170 mark on the downside. At the very best, push above 180, 185. Things are looking good. Somewhere in that channel, I am happy. Ideally though, as we are starting to see a little bit of a momentum lock coming in here, we're going to be looking to see that growth to the upside, hopefully. Just my opinion, right? Just my opinion. But I think we do have an argument to be made that we're close to a very solid support that's held up a few times in the past, and we could be looking to see this one push slightly higher. However, that is just my opinion. Now, as I always say in these videos, my aim is not to shape your opinions, it's simply to highlight the key levels that I am looking at on both sides. It's for you to make your own minds up, it's for you guys to do your own research. So thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please do make sure to give it a like, subscribe and share it if you can. And I hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now, see you soon. If you guys are ready to get serious about trading for less than the price of a coffee every day, I've got to tell you about the new Patreon page that I have just launched. That's right guys, I have a new Patreon. I'm going to be sharing everything on here, from my personal stocks that I am watching to pre-market updates, as well as a Discord group which I have started. It's going to allow you to access similar-minded, like-minded people who are also interested in sharing their knowledge about the markets. I'm going to be sharing a lot of stuff over here guys. There's going to be a lot of exclusive content coming in the next couple of weeks, but do bear in mind, for most of the tiers, spots are limited. The Market Scout, where you'll gain access to the Discord, prices will change after 150 members. At the moment guys, I'm limited for time, so the Trader's Edge course and above, we're limiting the courses even lower, right? There's a limited amount of people who can join. At the same time, depending on the level of mentorship that you want, we have prices going all the way up from 1450 to the highest tiers over here that you can see. Again, if you're looking to take your journey to that next level, on these middle tiers, this is personally the one that I would recommend, even though it's not the most expensive. It costs less than a coffee every single day, and the amount of information that you'll get here, in my personal opinion, is absolutely worth the value. At the very least, guys, you can become a member for free. The link is down in the description, the comment section, and the bio. Just give it a look and see what you think. And of course, feel free to sign up if you're looking to take your journey even further. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the video.